Okay. All right. Hey, students, I wanted to make you guys a video about what's happening in the class this semester because since our Navarro course starts Tuesday, we'll be moving from Global's Canvas to Navarro. And so after having the information from the history department, there are some changes to the syllabus, and I will tell most of you in class, but a growing number of you are out for various reasons. And so I thought it would be good to have this video for you about what we're going to do in the class, and then also what to do if you are out and planning on coming back. If you are I think I only maybe have 3 or 4 of you that are online for the whole semester. And so this will help you too. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to go to the syllabus. You have this under syllabus. And I did change my office hours on here. They changed my off period at Global. So I'm off first and fifth period. So first thing in the morning, bright and early. So if you do need to come see me or something like that, you can come during that time. But also, if you are online and you're quarantined and you can't come see me, we'll work something out. I would ask that you guys do mail me through actual email. I don't always get the Canvas mail, and then it like lingers and sits there, and I don't always get it. So if you email me at my actual email address at school, that's fine. I do have a Navarro email address as well, but I'm comfortable having you send me things at the WISD. You guys do have required materials through Navarro. It is the same textbook that you used last semester, so that shouldn't be a problem. Unless you're new to the class this semester, then you should contact Mr. Lozier for an access code if you have not done that already. But if you had an access code from last semester, it still works for Cengage. So it's called The Enduring Vision, A History of the American People. If you are going to be online, then you know from last semester that you need to take your exams through a lockdown browser. So Navarro would like me to tell you about webcams. That's fine. Buying an external webcam, but you can just use whatever is built into your laptop. The only thing is, lockdown browser doesn't work on Chromebooks. I don't know why. So if that's the case, you may have to talk to me about something we can work out for you to take your test, okay? So this is your link. This is your username. So be sure to check that out because that is somewhat important. But what I want to tell you about is the different methods of instruction. So this doesn't seem to be the most updated syllabus. Okay, hold on a minute. Hold on. I just worked on you. Okay. Okay, there is a lurking syllabus, but I'll fix that. I'm glad I caught that now. Sorry for the long pause. So I've changed your major assignments for the course based upon some requirements from Navarro. So you have 2 exams that are just like the exams you took for me last semester. There'll be multiple choice, There'll be short answer. And I wasn't sharing my screen. Okay. Okay. Sorry. So you'll have 2 exams. And online students, like I said, you'll need to complete those with a lockdown browser. They're multiple choice and short answer, and you know what to expect from those because you've had me before, unless, again, you're a new student, then we'll fill you in. But I really would like to not give you 4 of those. Um, there's a lot of cool things that I always really want to do. And as long as I make them weighted exam points, we can do some of those things. So I think you will enjoy that too. I think you will enjoy it more than this style of testing that is required, but I have a little leeway. So you'll see here that I have your 2 exams, and then I have an oral history project and a presentation. The presentation is actually coming up first. I'm going to have you get into groups. And if you're online at home, you can do this by yourself. It translates to independent work just fine. And I want you to put together a lesson based on, there's 8 different topics about the Gilded Age, strikes, people involved in labor. And I want you to create a presentation teaching this lesson to us. I want you to think about what would be the best way that you would learn it and how would you want it presented to you. Um, you know, you guys are creative and you're intelligent, and I think this would be a worthwhile assignment. Um, so you'll create your presentation. I think you should plan on presenting 10 to 15 minutes max. 50, we'll see how it goes. I've never actually done this because we never have the kind of time and college classes that we have with you guys. So we'll see. But you'll get into groups, teach a topic, create a handout or some kind of a visual. I'm going to give you a little freedom on that. If you have some kind of really nifty idea and you want to make something like really cool, I'm not going to stop you. But if you're like, I don't know what to do, you can just create a handout or some kind of a quiz. And then at the end, you'll write a reflection about your experience teaching. What was it like? Did it go how you planned? Would you do anything differently? And you can step into my shoes for a minute and think about all the things I think about as I teach you. So I think it'll be a really fun way to break up what's expected of you in terms of your exams. So that will be your first exam grade, and we'll start working on that probably this week, but if not, for sure next week. I know we had a holiday this week, so we'll see. The oral history project is something that works great in 1302 and that I just think is invaluable and really is hands-on, and it's fun and it's interesting. And we can't do it in 1301 because everyone's dead. But they're not all dead in 1302. And so what I'm asking you to do is, this will be the last thing that we complete in the class. I think it'll be a nice way to end the semester too, is that I want you to pick a topic for your project. And I'll have more written down instructions for you in your module, but it should be based on something from the scope of our class. So 1302, the person you interview should have been alive during the period of time you are interviewing them about. So, for instance, if you are interviewing somebody about the Vietnam War, they have to have lived through the Vietnam War. Now, they could have been a civilian. They don't have to be a soldier through the Vietnam War, but they have to be alive. So, it can't be like your dad reflecting on World War II when he wasn't alive during World War II. So that won't work. And I'm expecting you to write 10 questions and conduct an interview, record it. There are various ways to do that. So we'll talk about that when we get there. And then I'd like you to write a reflection about your experience conducting this interview. Some of the best stories that we get about the past come from oral history interviews because regular people, just your average run of the mill person, is not probably leaving a lot of documents behind that historians would say, okay, that's a primary source. So when you interview individuals about their experience during some of these major events, you really get a fuller picture of what was it really like and what are some different experiences than just sort of a maybe a mainstream narrative. So I love this project and I was really hoping that I would be able to give it to you. Now I'm going to interview my dad. He's delightful. He really is delightful. But I'm going to interview my dad about his time guarding the Berlin Wall. And I'm going to use that for you for an example. So you will have a model. He's really excited, by the way. Um, he's really excited. So I'm excited too. I don't know what he'll say, and you won't know what your interviewees will say. So there's no rules about what they can and can't say. They're not expected to have the right answer because they're just telling you their experience. They may say things that really upset you, like they may have different political views. They may use language that you find offensive, especially if you're interviewing older people, like the elderly. So be prepared for that. Now, you should never feel like you're in danger. Okay. Um, if that happens, you need to let me know and your parents know, and don't meet alone with a strange, scary person. But I mean, you do have to understand that you're like the detective and you're looking into the past, and the more real they are about what happened, the really the better the content really of your interview. So be prepared. So this will be due at the end of your Navarro semester. Um, you will be working on it though, for sure, starting after spring break, you'll be working on it. And I have a check built in, a progress checks to make sure that you're okay and you know what you're doing before you move forward. And I have a lot of resources for you about how do I exactly do this. So I know it's COVID. I don't expect you to meet with people face to face, but you certainly can. Um, I think that it is a good project to do via Zoom or Skype, or there's several other ways that you can record videos of your interview. So I think it'll be good for students that are in class, but also students who are outside of class too, um, to learn about some of these stories. You can interview anyone, but I think it's good to start close to home and start with your family. Um, I learned so much the first time that I did an oral history interview. I I learned that I had two half sisters that I didn't know about, and I learned some exciting stories, which you may get to hear in my dad's oral history interview that we're going to do for you. So that's coming. So that counts as an exam grade. So presentation exam grade, oral history exam grade, straightforward exam grade. So all of this is worth 45%. Then that pesky signature assignment, we have to do it again, except this time you need a primary document from 1302. And what I may do for you this time is select a handful of documents for you. Based on where we are in the class, that might be helpful. I like to give you lots of choice, but sometimes I feel like maybe there's too much choice. So yes, you have to do this. It's the department assessment. And your favorite, oh, it's Mind Tap. It's back again. Uh, it is a department requirement that we use Mind Tap. all of you are A-OK in MindTap, meaning it is connected correctly through your course, except for, I think it's third period. Sorry, third period. There's some kind of goblin inside their module that stumped the lady who is our representative, who was super nice. She's really good at Cengage too. And she was like, this is very weird. So unfortunately, third period, you guys are going to have to wait until they fix it. She's actively working on it. They're actively working on it. So you just have to wait and see. But the rest of you will be able to go in and you should start being able to complete your MindTap assignments. And that's the same as it was last time. You need to complete getting started, the history tutorial, and then go through the chapters, which start at, I believe, chapter 17. We just got into the book this week. So anything that is about like Reconstruction or the West, you're not responsible for that. You won't have to do a MindTap quiz about that because that was before. And daily work. We do a lot of that because I like to count all the things you do. So, you know, any warm-ups, exit tickets, in-class activities, same as last time. I have some pretty cool ones planned. I'm excited about them. One that's coming up is about Typhoid Mary and open air schools during tuberculosis pandemics. So just to pique your interest, that's coming. And the grading scale is the same. I'm not giving you a grade for your attendance this time, but I do have to take your attendance through Canvas. I think I can do this, and I think you don't need to worry about it. So it's a Navarro requirement now that we do this, but only 2 days of our choice for 2 weeks. I don't know who made this rule, but I think I can just take care of that and you just keep completing your exit tickets for attendance purposes. I feel like we've set that up as a system and it's working, so I don't think that we should change that. I don't think we really need to go over any of these other things, except, you know, the week of 125, 127, I'd like to start those presentations on the Gilded Age, but I need to see where we get in class because I've never actually done this particular assignment in this way. I'm really excited to do it. I know you're not. Maybe you are. I would be. I would much prefer to do some of these things than to take some of the traditional tests. I know they're hard for you. And this way you get to have some variety in the course. It's the spice of life. All right. So because we're doing things a little bit differently, your Cengage assignments may not always be due with your test. I don't think that's going to be confusing. So yeah, I tried to schedule your signature assignment earlier in the semester so that you didn't have to write it right at the very end. And I would just like you to note that I'm giving you a midterm the week before spring break. See, look at this. I'm thinking of you because I know this week you're going to have a lot of assignments too. So you do have to have your Cengage finished by then, but you can be working on that anytime. I will never give you a test right after spring break. That is the worst idea ever. So, you know, you have a test here and then you'll come back and you have a week after you come back to complete your signature assignment. So, I mean, you can be working on it before that, but you know, that'll give you some time should you have been spring break woohooing. I don't know how you're going to spring break woohoo. I've heard that people are planning all kinds of trips to places. I don't know if now is the right time for a spring break woohoo. Maybe just a spring break woohoo from inside while you get on your PS4 and talk to your friends and watch some anime. That sounds good. You should do that. That sounds better than a spring break woohoo. Okay. So you can see here as we get into April, your oral history project reflection will be due. And this is a progress reflection that's going to tell me that you are working on the project and that you're not on fire. Then I am going to give you a final test, and I'm giving it to you probably this week. But again, April's kind of far away. So let me see how that works out. Um, because I want to have your oral history project be the last thing that you have to worry about so that you're not taking that final test the week you have Enlist final test. So I'd also like to present them. They're really fun. I presented the one I did with my dad that will be similar to the one you guys did when I was in high school, and not all of his stories were appropriate. And I was concerned about this, and I told my history instructor, and he was like, "Everybody has to present." I was like, "Okay." And then my dad started telling stories, and then he was like, "Okay." I'll watch this one. So, I'm ready for it. If there's something in it that is really controversial, like they tell you they're a member of the KKK or something like horrible and they've murdered someone, I mean, you should probably talk to me about that. But if it's like off-color jokes, some language, I mean, we'll get it that um, it's part of the interview process. I have had some super strange things that happen during oral histories. Like so much gets revealed. And sometimes you get somebody that isn't as interesting, right? Like they just really don't want to talk as much, but we'll work on ways that you can get people to talk to you. I think right now, considering how cooped up old people have been, that they're going to be like, oh, yeah, yes, let's do this. I want to talk to you. I am lonely. So I think it'll be good. I think it'll be fun. So that's my plans for you. So let me no, that's not it. Let me take you back to Canvas. I set the course up in modules. I like it that way. And your class information's here. MindTap is right here, and it should link out to chapter 17. If it's starting with chapter 1, that's not right. So just tell me. Then I'm going to move some points from global. Okay. I'm going to move them into some categories because we're not allowed to take grades on Canvas before the course starts for Navarro. And you do have your PowerPoints here, and you'll have one more. So let me actually pull up the first class because I've added, well, they don't have MindTap. They do have the other things I've made. Okay, they do have one, but right now your MindTap is connecting to 1301 for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, so the Gilded Age is what we're moving into. And here are those assignments that you did on Global's Canvas. We'll be starting this week with the Sand Creek Massacre, and we're gonna probably get to Typhoid Mary, I think, but we may start that next week. I have a date of January 25th. It's gonna take me some time in class to figure out if we're gonna get to that or not. But if you're online, you always have a little extra time because, I'm not always sure what we finished covering, and I will give you till the end of that week if you need it. So there we go. This is where you're going to do your first test, so you can go in and look at that. This is your midterm test, your final test, and all of the fun things about your oral history project. These are the only things that you're actually turning in. Everything from how to ask questions to the video from the Smithsonian are things to think about to help you as a guide. So turn in links, videos as a guide. So the rest of your Canvas courses will start to look like this too. All right. So I know this was a really long video. I don't know if you're still watching, but if you are, if you're out for 2 weeks, first of all, just tell me. If you're out for 2 weeks and you feel up to working because you're just quarantined for a different reason than you actually have come down with COVID and are very sick, then you can start working and all that. If you're really sick and you have COVID, I don't want you to not get better from COVID. So I don't want you to get super far behind if you don't have to. But if you are too sick to do your work, I will work with you. Okay. Like, I mean, that's, the most important thing is that you take care of yourself and that you get better. History will be here. It'll still be here. You have to do it, but we'll work it out. Okay. Um, in terms of, if you're going to come in and out, all I would say to you is just be flexible. I may have to alter certain assignments for you if you're online. I don't think I really will too much, but maybe, you know, um, that's all I can really think about for now. You just want to make sure that you're going through the modules and using the modules as a guide to what assignments you do need to be creating. And if you get confused, like if I wasn't clear, which happens, and I got the date wrong or something happened, and you're like, I didn't know we were supposed to do that, and you are online, I will let you make it. I will let you complete it. Okay. That's just kind of the reality of something that happens when there's that space online. So I know that was a lot of me talking, but I feel like, especially for those of you that I'm not seeing in person and the handful of you that are out, and I will miss you. I hope you come back. I thought this would help you. So I hope you have a good day. I hope all this was awesome and fun. And I will see many of you on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. So, if you have any questions, let me know. And bye, students.